$10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 6 a.m.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio?
We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV. Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orvin Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
I'm here to remind you that everything's possible. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God, Tessa Chin this morning. And guess who's back in the building? Well, the semi-prodigal son has returned, but not the prodigal son, you know.
Not Freddy.
The star shooter son, you know what I mean? The SWAT team son, you know what I mean? Uncle Dennis.
What's up?
Ta-ta-da, surprise. Uncle Dennis is back in the... Hi, Uncle Dennis.
How are you? Them things say on Monday, I come back.
What are we saying though? You never did eating there for him?
Why? Me up on a regime.
Well, the regime is showing to him. Clock that, and it is very hot. How are you, Dennis?
Well, I'm good.
Everyone will go people ask me, where's Dennis? I said, look here, him runway. I said, he could take Melissa stress, and him just pack up him bag, and him gone.
God.
I said, what it is? Them ask me for you. Says, where's Uncle Dennis,
Really?
Miss Kitty? Where's Uncle Dennis? I said, Uncle Dennis to come. I said, he went to represent Jamaica.
Yeah.
He went to represent the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Yes.
And he will be right back. Okay? He'll be right back. Okay?
And then, but before that, I was out in the midst of what was going on in terms of the recovery.
Yeah.
going back out in it again tomorrow and Saturday. So,
Yeah.
various places.
Yeah. The work never ends.
Yeah. I mean, I've been keeping up with what you guys have been doing, though. I've been, trying to pop in and watch bits and bobs of the show that I can. And also to just keep track of where like the JCF has gone, where other entities have gone in terms of the rebuild. Some have just really been moving rapidly.
Yes.
And you see people have put on back roof.
Yes.
Life have to go on,
Yeah.
Even like medical facilities.
Yes.
I've been really impressed with the work of not just the state, because it is not just the government to do it. I wish we would maybe coordinate our efforts a little bit better.
Yes.
So that you don't have, and I said it before the storm, I said it during the storm, and I said it immediately after. While persons see a crisis, there are other people who see an opportunity.
Yeah.
And there are people who are saying, me, I go run off the NZA now.
Yes,
because order seems to be destabilized. And that's why you have to,
get a hold of the situation from very early. And we definitely like that. And, in terms of just what has been happening, Dennis, the devastation and destruction is so
the
wide,
magnitude,
it's so vast, right?
yeah.
The enormity of it, it's so mind-boggling. And we also have to, as a people, give ourselves some grace too, because we have never been faced with anything like this. And so the necessary systems are not in place because we never got through this before.
Or the systems that are in place have never been tested.
Yeah.
They've never been stress tested.
Yeah.
And maybe
to this level.
And one of the things I was thinking, we can say it in retrospect. Thank God for Hurricane Beryl, because at least there were some entities, maybe like the JPS, maybe like Digicel, maybe like Flow, that had their systems stress tested to an extent. But nothing prepares you
for this.
Category 5 stress testing. There's no stress testing that you can do to know if you'd be ready for that, But I'm encouraged by what I see.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have spoken about this whole debate about to post or not to post.
We have.
Because there's this whole idea of, should I tell this
and
person
show who I'm helping.
Right.
Yeah, and we spoke about it from the point that listen, at the end of the day, I understand that some people do it for selfish or malicious reasons, just for content or just to post. But there are also people who, by posting, their communities get shared, attention is brought to their situation and their plight, as well as there are people who get donations from persons. And I need to show you that, listen, the monies that you've sent to me, this is what I've done. So, for example, say this for the very first time that my Miss Kitty relief efforts, I'm launching it tomorrow at Ligani Preparatory School from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to be collecting donations from tomorrow all week long, and then we're going to be heading to Westmoreland, And so we want donors, whether it be clothes, whether it be toys. I also want to start include in that like a toy drive, because we're on the cusp of Christmas, and as you know, those children down there in those affected areas will need toys, and to feel like children again, because they have been so traumatized, so stressed out. And so I am putting myself directly now. I have also given to family members, because my family members have also been affected, and to other people. But we're doing to comfort and bring smiles to the West in these very tough times. And so I want to say, thanks to Ligani Prep, who has offered their location. It's very central. It's right, Barbican Beach, right there. As you pass Barbican Beach, it's on your left, 15A East King's House Road. But as you know, then it's not really the address, with the landmark. So you pass Barbican Beach, come up a little more, right past the pickleball place,
and then you make
a left, and it's right there. And so if persons have clothing, you have food items, whatever it is that you have, of course, in good condition, know, and again, I want the children to feel a part of it as well. And so if your children or your child has any toys that you know, they're no longer using or, you know, gently used or new, okay, now but I bring it broke down some of them because at the end of the day,
gently loved items. Gently loved items.
You can bring them. So I'm going to be there. And we need volunteers as well. So if you're interested, I'm going to get Patricia to organize that. And if you want to come and, you know, we start things, and I want to say thanks to the Stewart's family as well, Stewart's Automotive, Happy Hearts Foundation, because we're teaming up together because it's a collaborative effort. So,
and as I said, team up together because, put it this way, everybody who's thinking, oh, I can go down at this time on this day, everybody else I think that too. And then that's what causes the long lines, the bottlenecks going into the same direction, you know? And then I mean, every day somebody calls me asking for, can I get an escort going down? And I'm like, it's hard to tell the police who are there to give you an escort, because them really have them in their situation, and it's hard to pull somebody from somebody else. So like, where's this escort going to come from? But like,
because there's a limited number of police officers who are also stretched thin, doing what they're doing. And I want to commend the JCF and the JDF, because a lot of those police officers are working under very onerous circumstances, right? And I just want to say thank you guys and ladies as well for doing all that you do. The Jamaica Defense Force, you guys are out there providing security, handing out the food, maintaining the order. And so we are eternally grateful to the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defense Force, and to all the aid workers who are out there. Medic Corps, good morning to you. Big ups to Nate. And her name eludes me right now. I'm going to get her name. But, you know, we just want to big them up. So I also have set up a PayPal, right? So if persons overseas who are watching want to donate, it's khiltonlaw@gmail.com. That's KHYLTONLAW@gmail.com. So we're helping people because, as you said, Dennis, it's not a government thing.
No, the government can't do everything. And civil society has to come forward.
But civil society really, too, Dennis, has really done a lot.
It has.
And I want to say,
it
broke my heart. I saw Buju Banton.
I saw that. I saw that last night.
And Dennis, it hurt. You know, in some ways, it's like
again, but people see opportunities. Nefarious intent. We'll see opportunity as well.
Dennis, I'm saying, you know, some people are of the belief, or it is said, that the weapon against Jamaica is Jamaicans, right? We're the weapon that is formed against ourselves. At this very time, at our lowest ebb, you have people who are taking time out, spending their money, pooling resources, begging on people's behalf. You're not begging for yourself, you know, you're begging for people. And you see this opportunity to steal things from a Buju carry down. Dennis, it is so scandalous, it is so painful, it is so disrespectful. Yet from poor people, how do you feel in yourself?
And that is why I often say that corruption is endemic in the culture. So people like to point out at the corruption over there. But them not talk about the fact that you have a propensity for corruption. It put in the space, you understand?
Because Dennis, Buju said, stove missing. One person can't thief a stove. One person cannot thief a stove.
And other people who assist stove and move must know. So you are complicit. Oh, that stove there move got in another van back there. Oh, how? You understand?
Starlinks are missing, he said. Stove and other items. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot be the weapon formed against ourselves. And the wider world is watching. And if people see us as becoming barbaric, if people see us as becoming inhumane, you know what they're going to do? They're going to back away. They're going to back off, and they're not going to want to come here. And those who can help are going to take a hands-off approach and don't want to be a part of it. And you know what's going to happen? We are going to sink as a country. And let us not forget, even though we are in Kingston or in other parts that were not directly or adversely affected, it is going to be a problem for all of us in Jamaica. We cannot afford at this time to let the worst part of our culture or the worst part of us as a people be the thing that leads us and takes the lead. It is is just so unconscionable. It is so ungodly. And I'm asking the persons who are perpetrating these acts of selfishness to stop it. God, I watch you. And when God stop on like Salt on Damascus Road, when you hear some people like Obel and people are like, but listen, if you perpetuate that kind of hatred, and if you perpetuate that kind of theft and just disgusting behavior, it is just sad.
No, but they're on a corner wait for you, yeah?
I'm telling you.
Anyway,
So Buju,
guess what?
Please, I just want to say thank you for your efforts. I know it hurts because it hurt us as well. Just watching it right?
hurt. Yeah.
But please, don't give up the ghost, right? Continue, because there are many people who are benefiting, and all the persons who are watching, be not weary
in well-doing,
right? We can't allow the one and the two, Monsieur and Patricia, the one and the two, to allow us to make the 100 suffer. So let us focus on the good and weed out the bad. And if you see somebody doing the bad and the wrong, call them out on it. This is not the time for hustle nothing and eat a food off or nothing. It is time for us to come together as a nation, work together for the benefit of each other.
All right. In the immortal words of Patricia Chisholm. Let's take a break.
Signal the plane, I signal the mixtape. What about the shop?
We'll be right back.
Dennis, you really not come work like that.
We're here in Westmoreland at the Sean Laver Hall, and we are working with the GEM Global Empowerment Mission. We are about to hand out much needed supplies to the community members. It's raining, it has been pouring, our people have lost their homes, no shelter, and then the rain has come down, so we're trying to get together real quickly so we can get them much needed supply and food.
I mean, it's what we do. It's what Bob and Rita Marley Foundation does. Rita started this foundation. Rita would want this to be happening. This is part of her legacy. This is part of Bob's legacy. It's something that we're really proud to continue, just as much as we are the music and every other aspect associated with the Marleys.
We're passing out, as much food and hygiene boxes. They also have water in them. So we also have multiple trucks of tarps. And this is just getting up off the ground one hub, right? This is in this particular region, but we've been doing this every day, and some other teams are in multiple other regions. I mean, they're the most incredible people. I mean, look, there's loving, there's no violence, everyone's happy. They just want the basic necessities at this stage to get by.
I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
Introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get creative.
Wendy's Bacon Fest, everything better with bacon, there is no contest. It's the Bacon Fest at Wendy's. Bite into a delicious Wendy's Baconator today, because everything tastes better with bacon. Run, get your Baconator. Only at Wendy's.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. That's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son up play finals on CBM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CBM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
Twenty minutes after 6 o'clock on this Thursday morning here in Jamrock. Good morning to you wherever you are. It's now time for the headlines with a girl who looks like the sunrise. Good morning, Teeks. How are ya?
Good the intro them you see. Hi, welcome back.
I don't know what color that is, because you know we're not too know
Look
color.
at the logo.
But you look like I tell you, she look like the sunrise.
The sunrise.
Yeah, you're wearing sunrise.
Yeah.
Speaking of wearing, what are you wearing? Me see you around the counter.
She look like a princess.
Black
She look
thing,
like a
come
princess.
show me this.
Oh my God.
What is happening?
Hello, good morning.
I love this.
Thank you. And you know, when I saw it, I'm like, you know what, Jane? We need to get this for TK in another color so we can match and do like sister.
I love it.
And thank you. It's Shop Coca Bella's, darling. Yeah. Somebody asked me, I'm like, oh, I like your dress. It's so cutesy. It looks princessy.
is.
I'm like, I feel like a princess. Thank you.
It looks comfortable, avant-garde, runway, all mixed into. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, she's stepping up. She's strutting up.
Gotta strut your stuff. Shop Coca Bella, darling. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, TK. But you look so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you are right. You're looking slim and fit, though,
May I
Dennis,
tell you?
man.
Have to.
You left here and went to the gym. I don't understand it.
Yes.
But all right, let's jump into the headlines, shall we? You guys had mentioned that, you know, government alone can't do everything. We really need some support. And so here's another $500 million relief grant approved for school cleanups. Here's something else the government is doing. The government has approved a $500 million relief grant to help schools across Jamaica recover from the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kassan Troop, says the funds will be disbursed directly to schools to speed up cleanup and the removal of debris, while temporary learning spaces are set up where needed. So far, 653 schools have reopened, and over 40 technical officers are still in the field assessing the extent of the damage. Dr. Troop added that the ministry is working with professional bodies such as the Jamaica Institute of Engineers and the Jamaica Institute of Quantity Surveyors to finalize rebuilding costs. In the meantime, counseling support is being provided, and students and staff affected by the storm with the help from UNICEF and local guidance counselors. So, yeah.
That's a good job. Good look. I'm very excited to hear that because I'm very worried, like many of us are, about the learning loss that so many students will be experiencing. And we have to do all that we can to mitigate that ASAP. Also for those children who are students who are going to be taking external exams. It's not as if those external bodies, Dennis will say, oh my God, you know, Jamaica, we know what you've been through. You don't have to take the exam this year, or we're going to give you an easier exam. Other islands are taking it, and so our students need to be able to be on par with that. So the sooner we can do it, so the better. But I'm also going to be asking, like, you know, the other day we had Althea Leng. She's, you know, international model and also educator, and she's holding some classes. So teachers, you know, them original, like Uncle Dennis, who teach all the 13 disciples. I don't want to never met the hardest shot Dennis teach. He said, I meet you, and he said, you to go to Immaculate or Queens. I'm like, did Uncle Dennis teach you? Yeah, Dennis, like, right?
Actually, me and some of my friends were right now putting together something that we're going to announce.
Like the A-team?
Yeah, just like online, just like free. So come to this class, just sign on.
Awesome.
Come to this class, and we're just going to teach, and we're just going to kind of get the... Because there are teachers who would love to return to class. But they are still sorting out their situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so some of the schools, it's not just an assessment of the readiness of the school
classroom.
plant. You know, it is the support staff. Not
because
just
teachers have lost homes too.
Teachers have lost homes, ancillary, you know, and you know, so anything
It's
that
so
we
much.
can do, and especially past teachers, you know, there are people who working in the banking sector who used to teach accounts or maths or something like that, you know. I think that, you know, we could all see what we can do.
So listen, when you launch that, let me know, because as you know, my Miss Kitty Relief effort is on in earnest now, and I would love to bring that to the children in the West, in Westmoreland, so that they, because as you know, Manning's High School, Flatton and many other schools in the West, TK,
I
have
passed
been
by Stets
oh my God,
on 2 occasions.
dreadful. And Stets is somewhere that was a part of my school tour.
Yes,
you know,
I remember.
it was a beautiful institution, such a warm place. You know, the picking them bright and nice. You know what I mean? And I'm like, when I see what has happened, so guess what? No student shall be left behind. And anybody who can do something in a positive way to reach out, let us just do that and help our future, because pick them our future.
You know what I think about? What form, if you were in first form, you got hit with COVID, and now you're in fifth form with the hurricane.
Again.
Right?
I remember we've
Am
still
I
not gone, we've still not gone over the COVID learning loss yet.
So there was learning loss in first form, and that same batch is now suffering. If you're in the West and you're in an affected school, you're now suffering learning loss again because of the hurricane. That same batch.
And even if you're not
worrying.
and even if you're not in the affected areas, TK, you have secondary trauma.
Yes.
Because you're also concerned. You're also seeing what is going on. I'm telling you, I think there should be a lot of people studying psychology right now, trauma management and those things, because we are going to need those persons.
We need it. We need the support. All right, so next up, Indicom launches probe into Rio Cobra death. The Jamaica Constabulary Force and independent investigators have launched separate probes into the death of a man who jumped from a police service vehicle into the Rio Cobra in St. Catherine. The police say 73-year-old Melton Smith, a farmer from Linstead, was being transported from Linstead to Spanish Town when he reportedly leapt from the vehicle as it crossed Flatbridge in the Bogwalk Gorge. The incident, captured on a traffic camera, shows Smith entering the river with what appears to be a tire. He was later pulled from the water by police and fire personnel and taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
Yeah, it is, well, the constabulary naturally would be pursuing their line of investigation. Of course, it was a death while in police custody, so you'd have Indicom pursuing an independent investigation. I saw some additional information about the gentleman released or carried in the media yesterday evening in terms of what he was being transported to Spanish Town from Linstead Police Station for. It's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, so last up for me, Eastern Jamaica encouraged to set up food production. Following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa in Western Jamaica, the Rural Agricultural Developmental Authority, RADA, is urging Eastern Jamaica to boost agricultural output. Senior Plant Health and Food Safety Officer Francine Webb emphasizes the critical need for increased production from households and backyard gardeners. With food production and availability expected to decrease and prices likely to rise, an all-hands-on-deck approach is essential. Jamaicans are encouraged to plant in their yards and support local farms, and the ministry reports that approximately 41,390 hectares of farmland and over 1.2 million livestock have been affected. RADA is calling for support in providing seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides to aid farmers in their recovery. This initiative is vital for ensuring food security during the recovery period. So planting time for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about, just what food security is going to look like for the rest of into the next year. I mean, if we've been seeing, I don't know, me eat enough egg, and when you just coming out of burial to see shortage of eggs or limited eggs so far into this year, and then now this,
It's scary.
Yeah.
I've actually gone to supermarkets, TK, where you see in the vegetable aisle
empty shelves, empty refrigerated sections.
Yeah, and like just going to the market now, you see the prices going up. I had reason to buy a bun.
$800 pound for yam, $1,500 pound for sweet pepper.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, complete seasoning ain't so bad.
Because scarcity. I don't know why I look slim.
Reduce your salt.
No. I had to buy a little bun love scallion and thyme.
Yeah.
And the price was significantly more. Significantly more.
I just clench my teeth. Breadfruit.
Somebody from my gym says.
Right now, only see me can sing ching. You want breadfruit?
Just sing it. If you want to see breadfruit, go up on YouTube and watch a video.
I heard somebody say all trainers need to understand that the rice eating and the bread eating is going to pick up because the vegetables and ground produce it low. So we have to eat the rice,
If you can get
the rice, and that's if you can get the bread.
And 6 of one of those are the other because you have to eat the bread and the rice.
You have a supermarket link for when the bread come. Yo.
No, you have the pan spot.
Yeah, and you just bam.
You have to stake out at
the other day I turned up at the supermarket when the bread in the bag look.
Yes.
Like a steam in the bag.
Yeah, like it's just come.
Yep.
I just grab it and run.
Right now when you get a bread, say yeah. You just like in your teeth your mouth full of teeth like this. When you send egg, it's like let me get it.
You grab it quickly, but it's true that if we can even start growing our little things, even in the little complex, even with the little complex, there are ways. That's what we need to do. Channel producers, we need to learn how to do it.
They were teaching us eat what you grow what you eat. The
little plants
farming.
Yeah, we can do it.
We can do it. Well, you know what? We are in a time where we have to be innovative and we have to do what we have to do because the prices are astronomical. But I really want the Minister of Agriculture to focus a lot on these farmers in the East, give them the tools they need, and so that we can get going, because at the end of the day, food scarcity is going to be a problem and we don't want that. So we have to try to head it off from now. And by the way, the people or God, may I tell you, Vladimir Putin.
Imagine you have Brady and Larson is now.
I want Vladimir busy. Vladimir busy. You think Kim Jong-un busy? What am I do?
Hey.
Come on, talk to them.
You hear the story about Kim Jong? You know what? Let me take the bread.
I just want to have a word. But I'm just asking a question. If Vladimir, you understand? I just want to know if they're busy. You understand? Yeah. But the people who are stealing the equipment from like JPS trucks and so like them power saw and them something them that they're trying to fix the light for the people, shame on you again. The people who are stealing, right, from Digicel, the cables, where forget about the phone service and get back the computer.
There's no copper in it.
Why?
There's no copper in it, but yeah.
Guys, come on. We cannot shoot ourselves in the foot anymore. We cannot be the weapon that's formed against ourselves anymore. Like, can you please just stop it? The JPS men and women are working assiduously to get the electricity back up and running to serve communities, and you are there hampering their efforts. Shame on you. Digicel is trying their best to get the cable back up so we can get our phones, our family members can contact their family members, children can get back them look internet to get them look schooling, and you, I want to have Vladimir busy. Anybody have a phone number for Kim Jong-un or nobody?
The link.
But that's why I make the link now. May I ask a question? Minister of Foreign Affairs, I don't know. You understand? I'm just saying.
Just saying. All right, that's it for the headlines. The headlines are brought to you by Patricia's new eyelashes. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we're going to...
No, I knew that.
Patricia's new lashes, yeah?
That's why she can't see now. Yeah.
With some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orvin Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CBM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CBM website, man.
Greatness begins here.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than
Welcome back, Sunrisers. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Uncle Dennis is back! Yes! I gotta tell you. And if you're wondering, oh my God, is this a AI version? No, in real, he's back. Did his thing overseas, and he's now back with us. And thank you for always staying with us here on Sunrise. We sincerely appreciate your patronage. Now, this next segment is one that's very close to home. CVM Television has launched their Jamaica Rebuilds campaign, a nationwide relief effort to get real help to the people who need it most after Hurricane Melissa. It's about showing up, serving meals, and sharing hope, community by community. Leading the charge is Chief Commercial Officer at Verticast Media Group, Carlo Redwood. And he's here to tell us how you can join in as we roll out to Savannah Lamar next week. Carlo, good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Good morning, early birds.
Yes. I gotta tell you, get the most words.
Indeed.
Carlo, lots of people are happy to hear about this. I launched mine as well. So, you know, we're working together in different communities and doing different things. Talk to me about the, you know, Jamaica Rebuilds campaign, the focus of the CVM family and those persons who you're going to be helping.
So, I mean, it's really on the back of the fantastic work that our news team has been doing. They've been, you know, going out, getting those stories, talking about what has happened, and really kind of connecting Jamaica and those who are not in the areas devastated with the issues that are out there. And we just thought that obviously it was always us planning to go out, to take the teams out, to take our news live out into those devastated locations, take Sunrise out to those locations as well. But not only that, it's all about supporting. So it's all about, and our focus is on schools.
Yes.
So many schools devastated, primary schools, high schools.
Infant
schools.
As I was driving through Adelphi and Chatham, I'm going to tell you about that, Dennis. My last, as according to my husband, we weren't lost. God put us on the path, and he really did, for real. Adelphi and Chatham, when they say primary and infant school, you know what I mean? Basic school, I tell you, it just warmed our hearts. So I really like that focus.
Right.
So explain a little bit about the conceptualization. So you mentioned a focus on schools, because the truth is that everybody can't be focusing on the same things, right? So help us understand, you know, how the powers that be decided, look, let's take a laser focus on these things, and these are the things that we're going to do and bring to these things.
Well, as I said, because we are so integral into schools already.
Mhm.
Schoolboy football,
yes.
is a big thing for us.
Right.
School fest tour is a big thing for us. We just thought that, and so many schools have been devastated and don't have the support. They don't have the alumni, strong alumni behind them.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to be out there to help them to do it. So we want to actually physically go into, so each area we're going to be picking at 1 or 2 schools, going to the schools, help to clean up.
Yes.
Because that's a big thing for a lot of the schools, enough manpower to be able to do that. And then generating donations. So we'll be donating and generating donations, telling the story about the schools and really driving the help for those schools, because again, some of those schools just really get lost. They don't have the type of support that some of the bigger high schools have, and therefore we want to kind of focus down on that and support that in a real way.
One of the big things I hear though is, football don't postpone, right? And things are going on. So what's this I hear about a big screen TV and football watching? What's that all about?
Well, so when we go into each area, obviously we can't go into the area, though we're going to be focusing on schools. We're carrying our partners to serve food. So we're going to be serving hot food and serving beverage while we are in those locations, everywhere that we go. But one of the things we realize is Jamaica, though everybody's going through that, we are at the stage now that we are almost in the World Cup. And these games are coming, but these areas don't have a connection to be able to watch and engage with that. And we thought that could be another bit of relief to people. So when we got there,
normalization too.
Yeah, man. And when we went to, we've been out in South, and when we started to float the idea out there, crazy. They were so excited about it.
Yeah.
So next week, Tuesday, we're going to be in South Lamar. We're going to be at Manning's High School. We're going to be serving hot meals all day. We're going to be going to a primary school or two to do the work. But in the evening, we're going to have live news from South Lamar. But we will also have a big screen and be showing the game live. So that is next week is the Curacao game.
Yes.
That is live at the stadium. We're going to be showing that game live. We have some big activities to kind of get them excited and kind of take the mind off.
Absolutely.
Take the mind off what it is while giving, while donating, while feeding them, while supporting and giving support to the area. We want to bring something else to the table. So that's what we'll be doing next week, Tuesday.
Indeed. For somebody watching this conversation and saying, I want to log on to that. I want to partner with them. How can persons get plugged in that regard?
So we are starting also this week Full Up the Truck campaign, essentially to encourage donations. So persons can come to see here at CVM to start and bring donations, perishable items, the water.
Non-perishable.
Non-perishable.
Non-perishable, guys, yes.
Items, water. Those types of things and donate them here, because when we go out into those areas, we want to be able to carry those things as well. So we're going to be pushing that campaign as well. That will allow the public to support what we're doing, and so we have more to give when we go out.
Love it, Carlo. Right. And I know the people out west will be appreciative of that. And again, the football game, I know, will offer some relief, because they too need to smile. They too need to feel kind of normal again and be able to enjoy themselves.
And imagine if we actually make it to the World Cup.
Oh, wow.
The celebration and the feeling that we will all get.
Reggae boys.
And it's going to give us the strength to kind of know that we can make it through this.
And I hope that we'll also take this as an indication that we have to, those of us who can, should ram up the stadium next week to give our boys that oomph, that support, that, because I tell you, if we qualify for the World Cup, Jesus. Hello, you understand? I think that euphoria will carry over into, and we need that upliftment right now. Absolutely. And I just want to also take this opportunity to big up Giovanni Dennis, our entire news team, Amoy Harriet, Jebinson, everybody, like Giovanni, we see me in the streets. You know what I mean? And I really must say, congratulations to our
newsroom's effort at storytelling, effective storytelling, storytelling that it respects people's personhood.
Yeah.
It respects people's dignity.
Yes.
But it's not just it's not grief porn.
Yes.
You know, just look how horrible these people have it. But
right.
you know, connecting people in a way that you're telling their story and you're uplifting them,
Yes, yeah.
and then you are now pulling people. You're pulling the support into the space. So now we've gone into the space, we've told the stories, we've shown you where they
Am I
are.
working, man?
Yeah, man, she work, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man.
Am I work, man?
Yeah, man. She can get 2 new Bridgets.
The Journalist of the Year award goes to
yeah,
CVM TV.
Yeah, man,
No, I'm proud
definitely.
of my side. I'm really, really
Yeah,
proud of our news team, and they have been in the field, in the water. What the young lady was running away from the waves. I gotta tell you.
Oh, yes.
But she started, oh my God. But Amoy, I'm telling you, really great job, guys. And so we're looking forward to it. So Savsi, CVM is coming, Miss
They're
Kitty is coming.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta tell you, the West is best. Western consciousness, you understand? Yeah. Green Jill, big up yourself, you understand? Yeah, that's the truth, and you understand? Yeah.
Region 6, Renee.
Region 6 at them, you know what I mean? We are driving from Green Jill. I gotta tell you, with CVM and Miss Kitty, you understand? Yeah.
All right.
Officer is there, yes, sir?
Dede. Out.
Hi, officers, good morning. What's on my nose? I'm out.
Our guest has been Carlo Redwood. He's the Chief Commercial Officer at Verticast Media Group. If you haven't yet, grab your tins, your bottles, or clothes, drop them off at our studio here at 69 Constant Spring Road so we can fill up the truck together. Carlton G. Stew joins us after the break to count up the losses in Money Master Class. It's brought to you by JN Bank.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Tired of the high interest rates and the whole heap of loan payments every month? Take a debt consolidation loan from AIM to pay credit card bills and all other high interest rate loans from other institutions. Make one low monthly payment to AIM and take home some extra money in your pocket. That's financial freedom. One loan, one low payment, more money in your pocket. Call AIM today to lower your loan payment. And remember, you won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
At the Carpet Store, we bring comfort to every step with flooring that blends softness and style. From carpets and rugs to durable vinyl flooring and expert installation services, we have everything you need to transform your space. And when it's time for a refresh, our carpet and upholstery cleaning service brings your flooring back to life. Visit us at 18 Dunbarton Avenue, Kingston. The Carpet Store, because you deserve the best.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And KC has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
When opportunity comes knocking, grab it. When I got my piece of land, I saw more than just soil. I saw a future. With a JN Bank small business loan, I grew that dream and built a better life for my family.
Start your journey with a JN Small Business Loan with small business loans as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. Visit jnbank.com or contact us on WhatsApp at 876-295-1298 to get started.
to see what the blast of the hurricane did in a certain area. It was about an hour I was driving and nothing was recognizable to me. It's overwhelming to see that. It's overwhelming to see a place that was so lush look like a desert. I've never seen that in Jamaica. Never. The big saying is we little but we talawa. That means we small but we strong. Bob Marley said it. I'm a small axe. Even to cut down the big tree, and this problem is a huge one. So that's why everybody hang tight. Everybody is rallying in. You know, we just have to do what we can day by day. So hold tight, stay tough, and one love Jamaica. I'll get through this together, yeah?
Paul Enriquez. Well, welcome back, Sunrisers, to another Money Masterclass. It's brought to you by JN Bank. Well, Jamaica's facing some hard numbers right now. Billions with B. Billions in damage across sectors like agriculture and fisheries, tourism, and other areas. It's a hit that affects everything from jobs to food prices, and how we quickly bounce back, that is going to be determined in the coming months. Well, Carlton G. Stu is here to help us count the cost of loss, then figure out how to keep our finances steady while the country rebuilds. Carlton, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome back, sir, to class.
Yes.
2 weeks of absenteeism. Not a letter, not a biscuit, nothing from the parents, nothing from the wife, nothing from Jackson. I don't understand this at all. But it's good to have you back. Yes. Good to have you back, yeah, man. But as you mentioned a while ago, we have experienced great loss, you know, to the sectors, to income, etc., etc. And as I mentioned in a previous class, whilst that we would have experienced so much loss in different sectors, it's important for us to note that while we have experienced the loss, we have to bounce back. Yeah, we have to bounce back.
Bouncing back will determine how much loss you sustain in the long term. Because, like, for instance, tourism. The hotel them have to bounce back because the longer you stay shut. Yeah. Remember, people would have
loss is ballooning.
Yeah, people would have booked vacations where you have to send back the money.
True.
You know,
income loss.
I saw a cruise ship and I'm like, thank you, God.
Jesus.
And I said, I wanted to wave to them.
Yeah, wave. But I wanted to pose a question, but then it's preempted just now. What are your thoughts? I've seen on social media when a sector reopens, when some persons come in to say, oh no, go on, like things are business as usual and people still suffer, that kind of thing. And I wanted to get your opinion on it. If you think that we should bounce back and just go to business as usual so we can keep things going, or we should be more empathetic and stay in the devastation with our brothers and sisters. Okay.
Two things can be true at the same time, or many things can be true at the same time. The truth of the matter is, Carlton, we all can't be just devastated and be sad and just allow the grief and the loss to paralyze us, because that is only going to affect us even worse, right? So it's like, even I was saying yesterday to somebody, different days you feel different ways, right? Like yesterday was a low day for me, but today I might be feeling great, I might be smiling. It doesn't mean that I care less about what has happened to the people because I'm feeling happy. The truth is, all of us cannot be sad at the same time. I'm going to need Dennis to be happy for me today, so I can probably lean on Dennis to get to his happiness. So the sectors need to reopen because it will keep the economy going. It will keep people going. So, and by so doing, I'm earning, so I can help my family, I can help my community. But we cannot all just be with the honor we just saw under ball.
The rest of us have to get up and rebuild Western Jamaica. If the hurricane came to Eastern Jamaica, I don't think the same capacity to rebuild Western in the West. I mean, it is a good thing that Kingston, as the economic hub, was largely spared. The rest, which is why when you hear, the East needs to step up its agriculture, you know, St. Thomas and Portland and St. Mary and etc. and St. Anne, where you can, needs to step up production to make up the slack for the rest of the
And I'm glad that we're on that side. Let me jump in quickly. So we have estimated loss about $7 billion US, estimated loss. Agriculture about $29.5 billion is being estimated. Tourism about $423 million in estimation. Persons have lost jobs income. We mentioned last week some sectors have closed over the last 2-3 weeks and possibly maybe impacted a little bit longer. But the question is, do we think that enough is being done? From a countryside to have the country rebounded, persons to be fixed up and to be contributed to, is enough being done? That's another question I'm throwing out again, because persons are saying, boy, the government not doing enough, we should have far already. Let me get through some things that we need to have done. Number one is the assessment of damage. That is being done. But the next step from that, the government has mentioned, is the immediate recovery aid. Going down there, bringing food packages, care packages, etc., so you can alleviate some of the immediate stresses at this point in time. You move into temporary housing aid that persons will definitely need from time to time to protect them from the elements.
Yes.
Then you have the recovery of basic services, your phone, your light, etc. That's the normal steps, the water that should be happening. Food and shelter from a permanent standpoint now. How it is that we get permanent structures up, etc., for persons. And then lastly, the infrastructure is a part that needs to be focused on as well. The government has an overarching strategy that they would need to focus on. I know from corporate Jamaica, for example, we are going in Mesquite, Dennis, we're going in to carry what we can.
Yes.
Persons have been saying, boy, corporate respond better than the government. Government now move fast enough. I'm asking the question again. Do we think, as to where we are 2 weeks post the hurricane, as a country, as a government, for example, have we done enough to assist the persons who are in the Western End who have been impacted?
I don't think anybody is going... You cannot tell somebody, for instance, who is in a cut-off remote area who nobody never or few people knew about, and they're feeling maroon, they're still marooned, that we have done enough. Nobody's ever going to feel that enough has been done.
But under the circumstances.
Right, and remember, the government's job is to coordinate, right? And so the efficiency of other entities is to an extent attributable to the work of the state in terms of pointing them in the direction. Sometimes the state needs to do. Sometimes the state needs to get out of the way of the people who are doing. Sometimes the state needs to act as a catalyst for the people who are doing. So you need to remove the barriers so that other people can do. Sometimes, so this
the bureaucracy and the red tape.
In any government, you have to decide, what can we do?
Yes.
All right. Of the things that we need to do, what do we need to pay for?
Yes.
Because not everything that you have to do, you can pay for.
Right.
Some of the times you need to mobilize who can pay for it.
True.
You understand?
And also realize to them is that we're at different phases. Okay, so I know this disaster is catastrophic, apocalyptic, horrendous, right?
Yes.
But we cannot do everything all at once.
Yes.
So you have the rescue phase, you have the relief phase, and you have the rebuilding phase. We're kind of still in a rescue, because some people are rescue yet. So we can't jump from rescue, go and rebuild. We're not ready, because remember, we still clear out the dead bodies. We need to clear the water. We need to make sure that, okay, you're not rebuilding on a fault line. You're not rebuilding in a swampy area. So we have to make assessments. So I know, guys, right? It is like, oh my God, it is overwhelming. And when the shoe is on your foot, I know it squeezes differently. But at the same time, we are doing a lot. A lot is being done. A lot of aid is here, and a lot of people are also getting help. What is also required, Dennis, is that, sorry, Carlton, sir, real quick, is that also the people who are receiving the aid, let us not be greedy and keep it for ourselves. So if you don't say you have some people up in the hill where tractor can't go there, truck can't go there, but maybe some foot soldier can go, carry two things, go get the people them too.
Correct, I agree. Yeah, so we didn't go into the personal recovery section as
Patricia
yet.
again with her eyelash. Not from Patricia get eyelash up here.
We're going to the personal recovery section, but our time is wrapping up right now. So maybe possibly Monday we jump to the personal recovery aspect. So we're focused on the country recovery aspect just now. What can the country do? What's the country doing? So we'll keep this and we'll jump into the personal recovery aspect. What do I have to do for personal recovery? Because I have a responsibility now. We can't sit down and wait on the government only for the recovery part of our individual spaces. We have a part to play as well as individuals who have been impacted, and we'll jump into that segment on part 2 of recovering from the losses so far. So thank you so very much. It's Carlton G. Stew on all platforms, everybody. Have a good day.
All right, zoom in on the class board and take a picture so you have it in your notes, okay? Because when we come back on Monday, we're going to pick up with our financial educator, Carlton G. Stew, on all platforms, helping us make sense of the dollars and the damage in Money Masterclass. Brought to you by
Jan back.
The voice is back. TK is on standby with our morning news. Please do stay with us. It's still sunrise.
made for more. That's why I got a JN Bank small business loan to open my salon and build my dream with my style. Now I am my own boss, popping my own style and trending up.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. Visit janebank.com or contact us on WhatsApp 876-295-1298 to get started. Jane Bank, we will help you find a way.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments, Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
Holla me, holla yo, holla wave. Taste the BK new cheesy jalapeno Whopper combo for only $1,350. The time by Burger King is.
Wendy's Bacon Fest, Bacon Fest. Everything better with bacon, there is no contest. It's a Bacon Fest at Wendy's. Bite into a delicious Wendy's Baconator today. Because everything tastes better with bacon. Run, get your Baconator. Only at Wendy's.
It's time.
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio?
We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome to Morning News. I'm TK Dawkins. Police have identified the man who reportedly jumped from a moving service vehicle on Wednesday into the Rio Cobre. He is 73-year-old Melton Smith, a farmer of Linstead, St. Catherine address. He was pronounced dead at the Spanish Town Hospital. Police say he was being transported to be charged in a matter involving the abduction and carnal abuse of a minor. The incident, which has been widely shared online, was captured by CCTV as the suspect fell in the river along the flat bridge in the Bogwalk Gorge. The Jamaica Public Service Company, the JPS, says it has restored electricity to roughly 300,000 Jamaicans. That's 64% of its customer base in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. But that 300,000 doesn't include residents in Black River, who now say they've grown used to the dark after losing so much more to Melissa. Amoy Harriot met one resident who shared her story.
In the 1800s, Black River in St. Elizabeth made history as the first town in Jamaica to get electricity. Now, more than a century later, in the wake of Hurricane Melissa, it seems Black River may be one of the last to get it back. Scenes like these line every street, downed utility poles, sagging wires, and frustration from residents hanging just as heavy. Andrea Montague lives here. The darkness no longer phases her, as she says power is the least of her worries now that her family is without a home.
Like that. So Beryl took the house roof, well, part of it first. And then I had my business in here. I was running a bar. We turned it into a house. And then Melissa came and she took the shop top and the rest of the house. Everything got destroyed. Furniture, clothes, appliances.
This Nissan Tida motorcar was her family's saving grace. 7 of them were packed inside while the storm was passing.
It felt like a movie, to be honest. It felt like I was in a movie. The car, at one point in time, I swore the car was going to flip. We went into the scheme, into Newtown, trying to get to my sister's house. only to hear before the phones got locked off that her roof went as well. So on our way getting to her house, we had to stop because poles were in the road, trees were in the road. My sons tried their best to get the debris out of the road so we could actually get into the scheme. But before reaching to her house, we couldn't reach any further. We had to park against a wall. A lady by the name of Mrs. Wedderburn's house. We had to park at her wall. And there was a tree in our yard and it was literally beating the car. Zinc was in between the wall and the car. The zinc was over here holding the car doors together. It was just like the car was getting a beating. At one point in time I saw I was in Final Destination. Zinc coming left, zinc coming right, zinc coming forward. I don't know.
Her roots now completely uprooted.
This house is coming from my grandfather. Like my grandfather bought this house. My mom and my aunts and my uncles grew up here. You know, so I grew up here. So it's very, how should I put it? It's amazing that I'm not going crazy.
It's for this reason, Andrea tells us, she turns to alcohol in order to cope.
It's the best medicine right now.
What do you mean by that?
Keeps me calm and happy. No, it don't. All right. On a serious note, let me see if Mom can describe it. You see, if you're supposed to think about everything, my stress level going to go up there. And my blood pressure going to go up there. Black if I don't have no hospital. You know, for my live there. I can't deal with that stress right now, so I take a little sip. Now and then.
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Energy Minister Daryl Vaz toured Johnson's Petroleum headquarters to inspect the deployment of 10 mobile gas stations aimed at providing fuel relief to parishes affected by Hurricane Melissa. The ministry's latest initiative is designed to provide more help for persons in the most severely affected areas. More from Crystal Williams.
Minister of Energy Daryl Vaz says the main intention of these mobile gas stations is to provide access by cutting down the distances people who need it would have to travel to get petrol. He says marine fuel will also be deployed to fishing beaches in the west.
So, in my discussions with the Ministry of Agriculture Fisheries Department, Great Bay, Black River, Scotts Cove, Belmont, Negril, and White House, these areas, despite the fact that they have gotten significant damage to their boats and their engines, they still are in need of marine fuel.
He implored the owner of Johnson's Petroleum personally.
I'm going to ask Mr. Johnson to specifically target the western parishes for now, until such time as normality returns. And then you can obviously spread out into your original plan.
Michael Taylor, Chief Technical Engineer at Johnson's Petroleum, gave a rundown of the revolutionary mobile gas stations providing fuel to hardest affected areas.
That one over there is roughly about 100 liters. This one here is a double compartment. Right, it is 200 liters, and this one here is 2 compartment holding as much as about I think it's 1,500, 1,000 liters.
He says units are being made available to return the tourism and health industries, specifically in western parishes, to normalcy.
We were at a juncture where in which we wanted to be of assistance as well to the people who have suffered severely in the western parishes.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
In sports, Jamaica's Reggae Boys will face Trinidad and Tobago's Soca Warriors in the crucial World Cup qualifier tonight at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain. The Reggae Boys, who lead their standings in Group B with 9 points, can secure their place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals with a win if Curaçao falls to Bermuda.
This is also a must-win game for us. You know, I know everyone looks at the points and but everywhere we go, we come to win, and so that's what we've been doing. We put a team out that we think can win the game, and we go for winning the game. But I've got to say, we've come across Trinidad and Tobago many times now, and they're improving every game. They're getting better and better. Been very unlucky, I thought, twice against Curacao. So we know this is not going to be easy tomorrow in a team that, Trinidad have to fight to win. Like everything, Trinidad is very good, very strong, powerful with the ball. Got very good individual players who can change a game, can make something from nothing. And so we need to defend well. If we don't defend well, then we risk the chance of losing. So we need to defend very well. Once we do that, hopefully we also have good players, individual players that can win a game and turn a game. So it will be cat and mouse. It will be an intriguing game, one we're looking forward to. We've come a long way. 18 months we've been together now, and we reached this stage knowing that World Cup qualification is really in our hands. But we know that an improving, very good Trinidad team can stop us tomorrow.
Jamaica made a winning start. Oh, actually, that's it. No, we're going to go to that story. Let's do it. Jamaica made a winning start at the 2025 FIBA Caribbean Women's Basketball Championship on Wednesday at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall in Georgetown, Guyana. Behind quarterly scores 34-8, 16-16, 23-8, and 13-15. The Jamaicans thrashed Suriname 86-47. Tiffany Reynolds led the way with a game-high 26 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists. The tournament continues today with Suriname returning to action against the Bahamas, and host nation Guyana face the Virgin Islands. And that's it for Morning News. Join us next time at Midday News. Sunrise comes up next.
I had an opportunity to firsthand see the devastation that this record Category 5 hurricane has caused on the nation. Let me reassure you, Jamaica, let me reassure you, my customers, that we here at JPS stand committed to work safely 24/7 to get the power restored.
Well, as for me personally, mess up totally. Door blow off, house full of water, set to your thing. But as a worker of the company, I have to be out here to help. But I will stick to the task to make this be a reality where people get a light and be happy again once more. JPS, love you.
It has been a very terrible situation in Montego Bay, especially where I come from. I am from Friendship. The storm Melissa has destroyed a lot of stuff, but nevertheless, as a worker, I am following my duty. I'm here to show up and to deliver, and I'm here to assist in recovering. And whatever it takes, we want Jamaica to know that we are here and we are moving forward. And there is hope.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will he score this for Casey? Will he score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. That's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
Oh, it's been rough, the storm has been raging, and my faith is shaking. I still hear you whisper, I'm here with you. My shepherd, lead me, I'll go.
Good morning. Thank you so very much. We'll definitely find you wherever you are in the world. And of course, we say good morning to all Jamaicans. 15 minutes after 7 o'clock, right here in Kingston, Jamaica. We're all going through it right now, whether directly or indirectly. We are all feeling for each other. Welcome back to Sunrise, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now, while some areas are starting to recover, there are others still in the blind spots. Communities like Joe Hut in Trelawney, where residents say they've been left out of the relief spotlight. Joining us via Zoom is community leader and business owner Patricia Powell, who is giving us a look at what life is like right now and what they need most as they try to rebuild. Patricia, good morning. Welcome to Sunrise. How are you?
Good morning, Patricia.
Hi, good morning, Miss Kitty and Uncle Dennis. How are you doing?
We're doing very well.
We're good,
Thank you so very much. Well, first of all, for those of us who are not familiar with Joe Hut, tell me where in Trelawney is Joe Hut. Give me some other communities around so we can have a geographical idea of where is that you're located.
Right, so many persons are not familiar with this part of Trelawney. So it's not just Joe Hut alone. So when you're coming from Kingston to come to this area, you'll go through Mandeville instead of going to Ocheres, which a lot of persons misunderstand. So you come through Mandeville up to Williamsfield to Christiana. Then that end of Trelawney is where you get to where you reach Lorimer's. You go to Lime Tree, Litchfield. You have Waitabit, which is also a known place here. All sides, you have Wire Fence, you have Thompson, and you have Alberton. So that's the direction in which we lead. So you have a better idea of where in Trelawney we are.
What was the name of the community before Alberton that you said?
Wire Fence, Thompson, Waitabit, probably that's the one you want to.
No, Wire Fence.
No, Wire Fence,
Wire
actually.
Fence.
It's Wire Fence.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, in spaces like that, that's, you would consider that southern Trelawney because it's closer to Manchester. And many people, immediately they think of parts of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, the coastal parishes, but that's deep inland.
Yeah.
Give us a picture of the deep inland experience of the hurricane.
Well, with the hurricane, many might think Trelawney may not have gotten a lot of damage, but let me tell you, when you look at the roadways, the landslide, the falling of trees and light posts, as opposed to a place like a parish like St. Elizabeth that is flat, Trelawney is very hilly. It's a hilly terrain.
Yeah.
You will see a lot of landslide. There is a section in near to Lorimer's heading to Christiana where the entire roadways is gone. So therefore, persons have to be using some alternative roads, which what would take you a 2-minute drive now takes you almost an hour, because the traffic there is very challenging because it's a one-way, and the main road, where the fallen road, the landslide is happening, it's very scary. They're trying to a little passage there. However, many persons, by the look of it over there, you can imagine falling over there. So persons are not using it fully, but persons who are brave enough, they're using it. You also have houses that are fallen, houses that are gone in the gullies. And I spoke to that lady some time ago, and she is in so much of it's like a nightmare for her, because that's what she built about 3 years ago. It's a 7-bedroom. She have 2 businesses there, and she lost everything.
Wow. So in terms of, well, the damage there, Patricia, looks to be quite extensive, and all of that is gone now. So talk to me about 2 weeks in. Have you seen any political representative? Have you seen any aid relief there? Has anybody visited Joe Hutton in that particular area?
Well, for example, I have communities where I've been visiting, and they're telling me that the MP, that is Miss Dalrymple,
yes,
she's been coming around, she has been taking notes, she has dropped off care packages. I've seen the councillor in the Lormas division as well. I saw him on the road where the roadways are cleaning up. The custos of the parish, Mr. Hugh Jensels, I must also commend, because he has used these resources and has been helping with the clearing of the roadways as well. So that has been going on. And I must say, big shout out to the resident, because the Trelawney residents are they're self-contained to a lot of things. Because as you'd imagine, Trelawney is almost like a parish that is not get a lot of highlight. So however, we are very self-contained, so we don't wait on stuff.
Yes,
so
self-sufficient, yeah.
Yes, you'll go and you'll see groups coming together using their own resources. You may not see a lot of this on the social media platform, because they don't practice going out and doing it, because they're so used to doing stuff for themselves. They don't really reach out. But I must tell you, these persons or these communities, they're really in need of help. There are a lot of houses that are gone fully, especially the board structures.
Yes.
And there are a lot of rooftops that are gone in the gullies. And they're trying. You have carpenters, you have other persons who are there helping and giving a helping hand here and there. But they can do so much and no more, and they look for help. However, they may not reach out too hard. They're just waiting to see what's next. And as the MP has been going around based on words in the street, and that she'll be coming back and doing what she needs to do.
Patricia, there are, I mean, we've been talking about counting the loss of the cost of loss, and we've been trying to appreciate everybody's loss. So in Trelawney, when you think of Trelawney, you think of yam farmers, you think very subsistence, but I mean heavy production of yam. What are the kind of losses that you are seeing in a deep rural community like that?
Especially with the yam farmers.
Not just infrastructure.
Well, I must admit that we speak about the houses, but the yam, I think personally, we've lost more in the farming community than even in the housing community. Why? Because we depend heavily on yam. Yam is our main source of income down here. There's not a lot of development. So therefore, when a child leaves high school, one of the first things that they'll do is to plant a yam. So when you look at losses, there's barely a figure. I spoke to one farmer and she has lost 4,000 bank of yam. When you look at that now, it's a lot of money, millions. And I have bigger farmers who have lost like 20,000 hills, and I walk around and I look at 20,000 hills of yam. Out of 1 hill, they probably get even £100. And £100 right now is for $50,000, and that's just 1 hill. And persons have lost many hills. We have a community like Greentown, where a lot of young farmers are there. That's where I was brought up. So I know, and I've seen, and I've heard their cry. And that's where I spoke to, there was a lot of landfalls there. So they could not go to their farm. The animals couldn't go to the farm to see, to gather any produce to bring down to the roadway. And they cry. And I spoke to the custos, and he assisted in trying to clear the road and see how best they can go to see how much of a loss they've gone. So when you speak of farming, I think that is going to become a very big issue in the near future. Right now, they might be reaping what is there and what gets. However, yams that are supposed to be produced, say, in January, February, they have already been brought to sale. So we're shortage of yam in the near future. And as we know, yam is one of the, well, if not the biggest export, the largest export in Jamaica. So therefore, looking at that and the rest of the country, in the local market, the yam, they won't be getting it in the Coronation Market, in Montego Bay Market, and wherever the other markets are.
Patricia, how long does it usually take for a yam to mature? Like, what's the time span?
9 months.
9 months. And right now, so 9 months, so we have to start doing something right now. So it takes 9 months for the yam to be ready. But in terms of what you're going through and what you're facing, Patricia, from your vantage point, what is it that you need? What is it that your people need right now? And one of the things that is hindering people coming to these communities is the fact that the roadways are impassable. You just can't get there. Where can we drive? If, say, for example, somebody's watching right now, a Trelawney native who wants to come up, or somebody who has relief efforts planning right now, like I'm planning my relief efforts right now, right? And if I want to come to say, boy, I'm going to talk to Patricia, I'm going to come to Joe Hut, I'm going to come to Wire Fence, I'm going to come up to Albertown, because I've been to Albertown, I know Ulster Spring, I know the whole of this, right? And I want to come. Can I come? How can I get access? And what is it that the people need right now?
Right, so let's speak of access. So coming from Kingston, I would assume, coming from Kingston, everything is clear up to you. Come into Christiana and you head down. It's one main road. There's no real turn off. So when you reach Lormas, you might want to take a right turn at Lormas heading into Battersea. And from there are different turning points, and you'll see residents directing you, so you won't get lost if you're to turn off the main road. However, you have persons who are brave enough who might want to drive on the main road where they're trying to build a side road over to the corner and another part of the land where persons can continue to drive. However, if you're driving a big motor vehicle, like a big truck, you cannot drive there. You wouldn't want to take that chance, especially if it is long. So turn off is at Lormas into Battersea, and from there you'll get direction. You'll come out at Bridge. It's called Bridge, the community's Bridge. You come out there and the roadways are clear. And as I stated earlier, the residents are very self-contained. So they've gotten up each day and put in the work and clear the roadway. And I must shout out again the Custos for that. He has helped in that way. So,
and what we need to bring? What do we need to bring?
You need to bring, all right, so their food supplies. There are a lot of persons who have lost their homes totally, and many have lost roofs and now have nothing to look towards. So we look for food, we look for zinc, we look for ply, blocks, if persons want to build back their structure on a more solid foundation. So you look for blocks and all of those kind of building material, because we have the persons here who can actually help in building the structure. So we look for zinc, plyboard, blocks, and all those kind of building materials. And I would say presently, outside of food, I think building materials, and when we look now at the farming structure, you're looking at fertilizers, you're looking at forks, you're looking at machetes, and all the material that is needed to help to bring back the farms together. So those are some of the main things that we might need right now in our communities.
Love it. Well, guess what, Patricia? You've spoken very well. You've articulated. I feel you're well painted the community very well. Indeed. I feel like I've been to Joe Hut. I never even got there yet. You know what I mean? And I want to congratulate you as well for being a hardworking young lady, for taking up the mantle to represent your community in such a positive way, to get the word out there so that people know that Joe Hut exists, Lichmore exists, Wire Fence exists, Albertown exists, and if you want to help, Patricia, they want to get with the program as well. I wish you guys all the best, and I do hope that persons watching and those other authorities would have heard your cry this morning, and so relief efforts will come to that side of the island sooner than later, even more of it.
All right.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much. Our guest has been Patricia Powell from Joe Hut in southern Trelawney. Up next, one Jamaican brand is doing just that, one patty at a time. We head to another break, but there's more Sunrise when we return.
Don't leave me alone. You the hand that keeps holding me. Oh, it's been rough, the storm has been raging, and my faith is shaking. I still hear you whisper, I'm here with you. My shepherd, lead me, I'll go, I'll follow. Don't leave me alone. You promised you'll never let me go. So I'll just keep holding the hand that keeps holding me. Oh, it's been rough, the storm has been raging, and my faith is shaking. I still hear you whisper, I'm here with you. My shepherd, lead me, I'll go, I'll follow. Don't leave me alone. You promised you'll never let me go. So I'll just keep holding the hand that keeps holding me. Oh, it's been rough, the storm has been raging, and my faith is shaking. I still hear you whisper, I'm here with you. My
Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son up play finals on CBM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CBM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CBM TV.
So much more.
Jamaica is truly special. Our people are strong, resilient, and full of love. A love that moves us to give. Now at Mothers, you can pay it forward. With just $300, you can donate a meal to someone in need. Because sometimes a warm meal is more than a bellyful. It's hope, comfort, and a reason to smile. So from now through Christmas, let's make a difference, one small act at a time. Pay it forward with Mothers.
Absolutely amazing, and we're indeed paying it forward here on CBM TV. Welcome back, my Sunrise family. If today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating your anniversary, happy anniversary. And if you love Mother's cook food, hello, please. Good morning to all the employees at Mother's over there at Park Plaza, in Ligani Plaza, over there in York Plaza, and all the Mother's stores all across the island, and the original down at Crossroads. Good morning to all of you. Now, sometimes kindness comes wrapped in foil and filled with beef or cheese or lettuce, tomato, Mother's Potty, chicken potty. You understand me? Mother's Food Group has launched their Pay It Forward campaign that turns every meal you buy into a meal for someone in need. From families affected by Hurricane Melissa to children's homes across Jamaica. Joining us to share how it works is Marketing Manager at Mother's Food Group, Shaniel Simpson-Gale. Shaniel, good morning. Welcome to Sunrise. How are you?
Good morning.
First of all, that commercial just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside and really gives you the impetus to want to support.
Yes.
Talk to us about the vision behind the Pay It Forward campaign and why was it important for mothers to come out and show support for our country in this way at this time?
Okay, no problem. So earlier this year, we decided to launch the Pay It Forward campaign. Originally, the aim was to feed those in need for Christmas.
Yes.
But after the devastation of Hurricane Melissa, we've decided to extend that support. Yes. And what we're doing right now is to basically share hope and share joy with persons that have been so affected by this hurricane by just supporting them in whatever way we can.
All right, so talk to me about the mechanics of how it works. So we come to mothers, we buy breakfast, we buy what, we buy patty, we buy what, and the money goes where?
Okay, no problem. So it's really simple. Once you come into Mothers to purchase your meal, you have the option to pay it forward by donating an additional meal to help someone in need. Now that could be as little as $300, whether it's a patty meal, a dinner box, a burrata box, whatever it is. Once you contribute, that money basically is pooled into a donation fund from various contributions from mothers ourselves, from the public, and even from other organizations and partners that are supporting us.
Oh, wow. And it's going on right now as we speak?
Right now.
Okay. Until when?
It lasts from now until Christmas, but the initiative Pay It Forward, it doesn't just stop this year. It doesn't just stop at Christmas. It extends further and beyond. So we're not just helping families right now. We are going to, our mission is basically staying with them through recovery.
Long term.
Yeah, long term.
All right, so talk to me now. So so people come, buy their mother's meals, they donate, it goes toward, you said homes. How do you choose the persons who will get the help? And I know everybody in their mind wants to make sure, Shaniel, I want to make sure the people them get them food, How can we make sure that, mothers is held accountable and we know where the money is going?
I love that question. So pretty much what we have been doing is connecting with different groups and entities to develop a strong network. And with that network in place, from different charities and different groups that actually support our mission and our goal, what we'll be doing is to set up a distribution plan, a widespread distribution plan across the island, helping those persons that are affected, helping those persons that are in need, or children, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have seen mothers out there so far,
Yes.
Definitely giving those warm patties and helping with the relief efforts. What has that been like for the team? And when some people might even scoff at a patty, like, oh, and patty. But when you are in dire need, a warm patty, trust me, a meal, right, means so much. What has the reaction and the response been like to the people that you've been serving?
Yeah. Well, truly, first, it's been overwhelming. Just going out there, being in the field, and seeing the disaster and the effects of how these families have been. It has cost them their homes. It has cost them their lives, so to speak. And when we were actually approached by World Central Kitchen to assist in the program, and a lot of persons would say, "Oh, a patty is just one little patty. What I can do." It starts from somewhere.
Absolutely.
It starts from somewhere. So we extended our help with just helping to distribute patties, and now we're doing meals. And we ourselves, the internal team, have visited the different parishes and different areas that have been greatly affected, and we've supported these families with relief boxes and food, dry goods, all these different things just to help them get a footing, right?
Nice.
So it has really been heartwarming, especially for us, because we love to give from the heart.
Yeah.
We really believe in building communities. We really believe in supporting people.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're staying true
Especially
to.
at a time like
Especially
this.
at a time like this.
For persons overseas, Chanel, who may want to say, all right, Chanel, I'm not in Jamaica, so I can't really come and buy the sweet chili chicken sandwich, okay?
Yes.
You know, some of them. I can't come really and buy the full house patty, right? I really can't come and buy the curry goat patty right now, but I want to pay it forward. Is there a link or is there a connection where persons can send money and contribute from overseas?
Of course. And we've had so much support thus far from overseas friends.
They're
and
amazing.
Yes.
Big up Jamaica's a
absolutely.
foreign. Yay!
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. And we have extended that outreach to those persons through different mediums. What we have set up in place is that we have a donation account that we have been sharing with others, and we can definitely share that widespread as well, so that others can have that information and they can connect with us.
And the information is right there on the screen, guys, so please screenshot it now so that you can have it. I know some of you may be rushing to the train, maybe rushing to your car, and I want you to have it in your phone, so when you get some downtime, you can go back on the flyer, and you can so you have the information as to how you can donate. Is there anything else? I mean, you keep the CVM family fed every morning, by the way. The salt mackerel is lovely. I love it, right? The stewed chicken, Danielle loves it, right? And Patricia, right? The egg sandwiches, mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful. And so we also thank you for paying it forward to us here at CVM Sunrise. Is there anything else you would like to say in terms of, just those persons affected, as well as to your team members? Because I know many of them may have also been affected by the hurricane, but still they show up to work and they show up for their customers.
Yes. Well, we just need to let them know that they're not alone. They're not alone. We've seen so many people that are now activating in different relief efforts. And one of the main things that we need the families to understand is that we are there with them through and through, which is why we're calling on other people and we're calling on the public to support us in this initiative and to help us to just rebuild lives and share like a hope.
Yes.
Make them feel like a joy.
Yes. Hope springs eternal.
Yes.
And that's what we need, because the moment apathy sets in, the moment I feel like there is no way out, then people, their lights just dim.
Yes.
So it's so important to keep that hope alive.
Very important.
And keep that spirit alive. Well, thank you, Chanel.
Thank you.
To you and the Mothers Group
Yes.
for doing what you do, because it takes all hands on deck and everybody to play their part to advance the welfare of the whole human race.
Correct.
Thank you for paying it forward.
Thank you so much.
Very well. All right, I'm going to pay it forward later. Fish patty there, I got to tell you. Curry goat patty coming right up. And of course, you can get your breakfast, your lunch or dinner at Mother's, right? That was Chanel Simpson-Gale, our special guest here, marketing manager at Mother's Food Group, representing for the Pay It Forward campaign, serving up patties for a purpose. After the break, we're heading to Manning's High School, where rebuilding faith and futures is the order of the day. Sunrise will be right back.
Time move on, but the wound still raw. Roof still gone, rain still pour. Camera pack up, the thought them done, but belly still empty, we can't find none. We fix smile upon face, but pain in we eyes. We people them hungry, still try for rise. We people tough, we spirit strong, still a push, still a hold on. So while life go on, remember this prayer. Help if you can, show that you care.
May confess. Everything better with bacon, there is no contest. It's the Bacon Fest at Wendy's. Bite into a delicious Wendy's Baconator today, because everything tastes better with bacon.
BCIC is giving up to $5 million in free content insurance.
We've developed a free online calculator. So anybody in Jamaica, any homeowner can go on to BCIC online. You don't even have to be a BCIC customer, and it will give you a building value.
When you update your home's rebuilding cost with our online calculator, you'll get $5 million in free content insurance and up to 12 months to pay your premium.
If you're not insured, go get it now. Better to be safe than sorry.
Employers and householders, access the Heart NSTA Trust Skills Registry today to employ trained and certified skilled professionals. The time by Heart is
7:30.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is 7:45.
Wendy's Bacon Fest, everything better with bacon, there is no contest. It's a Bacon Fest at Wendy's. Bite into a delicious Wendy's Baconator today, because everything tastes better with bacon. Run, get your Baconator. Only at Wendy's.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Yeah man, this is Nadine Sutherland, cause we triumphant, because we not stay down, we not go down, stop one like we are cause we triumphant. Yeah, this is Nadine Sutherland, beat up Rockers TV with Urchin.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orvin Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Hey, thanks for staying with us here on Sunrise. Schools are the heartbeat of many communities, and after Hurricane Melissa, many in Western Jamaica are still finding their rhythm again. Manning's School, the Manning School, is one of the island's oldest institutions. It's among them. On the line with us is the headmaster of the Manning School, Steve Gordon, to share how his team is tackling the storm damage, keeping students engaged and rebuilding classrooms and student confidence. Sir Gordon, welcome to the program.
Thank you. And good morning to your listeners.
I mean, I know so many great people who have been blessed to have attended Manning's. It's an excellent institution. It is more than the infrastructure, but the infrastructure is so important to the school. It goes so far back in our history. Give us a picture of the damage that the school sustained.
Well, it is quite extensive. I mean, Beryl was just a tip of the iceberg compared to the damages caused now by Hurricane Melissa. It stretched from the top of the school where at the entrance you would have seen, perhaps in pictures, all the trees have fallen down. Those trees have been there for quite some time, hundreds of years. I feel that they have been there for over 200 years. To the back of the school, where buildings with perhaps solid roof, concrete roof, they are missing windows to the back and the front. And the damages to furniture is also been something that we're going to have to look seriously at. So the damage is quite extensive. We have buildings where the entire roof, the building that was repaired last year after Hurricane Beryl, that building, we call it the Prescott and Mumby block, the entire roofing is gone.
Wow.
Not to mention the heritage site, the Thomas Manning building, that is to the ground. It's now a rubble. So the damage is quite expensive. One of the newer structures, the Victor Lowe building, too, has sustained damage. To the back of it and to the front, where windows have been missing. And of course, with the water damage coming in, then you know that we have sustained damage to furniture there again and the infrastructure inside. So hopefully we can get a full picture in terms of how much it's going to cost, minimal, to repair all those damages. Pretty soon. I'm hoping that we can get that pretty soon. I know that our good friend from NET, that's the National Education Trust, they would have sent a contractor down there, and they are looking at it, and we're hoping to get a full view of the costing as to how much it's going to cost minimally to restore the school to some level of normalcy.
There is the potential of repair and rehabilitation, but I mean, there are many things that persons on the outside would not realize you just can't replace. Even when you look at your administrative buildings, and was there any damage to or loss of documents and files and those kinds of things, student records?
Certainly, and I said we are continuing to do assessment now. What we can replace, we're going to see how much we can replace it immediately, especially to very important documents like student records, as you mentioned. But if it is that we can put them out to the sun and get them, to a level where we can perhaps use it, then fine. But the damages, as you said, is not just the building. But I'm happy, one thing I'm happy for, that within the Manning's family, we have not heard of any death, and we are glad for that. But we are still doing our assessment with respect to the students and staff. And to date, I know that 7 of our staff members have been displaced and still looking for a stable place to stay and call home for now. So we have those situations that we have to be grappling with as well.
The scope of learning loss is great. Manning's is an institution that comes out at the top end of performance in all external examinations. How are you and your staff seeking to mitigate or reduce learning loss? Are the teachers managing to engage the students any at all? Because we do know that, with lack of internet, it's difficult to pivot to a remote modality. Are you able any at all to maintain some amount of teaching?
At this time, we have set a date to see how best we can engage with the students in the physical space, because as you mentioned, there is no chance of us having a online modality at this time. We have set a date to the 24th of this month. We have to make an adjustment based on the fact that we have not yet complete completed cleaning up of the compound. We have to ensure that the compound is safe and students are able to move around freely. The idea for us now that we are going to engage both the 5th and the 6th form students on the ground, at least for 3 days for the week. And hopefully we can get in the lower school students to come and we give them packages to go home with, that is work packages, to go home with on a couple of other days for the week. I know a couple of my colleagues would have been taking in students at their school. I know students have gone as far as Kingston. But the idea for us at this point, until we get the school to a certain level, then the tentative date that we have is the 24th of this month.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gordon. My guest has been Steve Gordon, the headmaster of the Mannings School over there in Westmoreland. Thank you for joining us this morning. Well, let's head to another break before we wrap things up here on Sunrise.
King, holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. Hata afa we say new cheesy jalapeno whopper make we talk in a gypsy. Well apart, me I forget the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper, whole heap of spicy jalapenos and creamy cheese sauce. Get the combo with fries and drinks for $1,350. Holla me, holla yo, holla way, follow me and holla for the new cheesy jalapeno whopper from BK. It's the new BK cheesy jalapeno whopper from Burger King.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think alone, think Chris.
And that's how we bring the curtains down on the show for this Thursday morning. Good morning to you once again.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Thank you very much for
Farewell
choosing us.
To you, my friend.
Dom, 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 dom.
Yes, welcome back. It's great to have you back.
It's been great to be back.
Yeah, so, you know, and to all of you who are probably watching for the very first time, thank you so very much. And to the lady in Price Mart that I met yesterday, well, the ladies, all the people, the Jonases, right? Dwayne Jonas and Felica Jonas, their family, yes, they were shopping to, you know, getting relief items for persons down in Black River, I think they were going.
Okay.
And so all the persons too who are buying and who are doing for, you know, family members and also people who are strangers, you know. Thank you for your gift of giving as well. And thank you for caring enough to come down, people who fly down to give. Thank you guys so very much. And remember, my relief efforts gathering starts tomorrow. We'll pack up the barrel them, we'll pack up the things them. Gonna be at the Ligonier Prep School, 15 East Kings House Road, right there near Barbican Beach. And we're gonna be there collecting from 10 a.m. and we're gonna be there. And so if you have your clothes, if you have, you know, gently worn, gently loved, toys for the children, canned items, non-perishable, whatever you have, you know, if you have any tents, any beds, any flashlights, whatever it is that you have, every mickle mecca muckle, one cocoa full basket as we're helping the people in, what are you saying, DJ? If you want, oh, okay. Not mine this morning. Yeah, and you have clothes, toys, you know, bring them out so you can help the people in the West. And remember, my PayPal is open so if persons want to contribute. It's khyltonlaw@gmail.com. That's KHYLTONLAW@gmail.com. And today, actually, Dennis, is Kindness Day, World Kindness Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, kindness is karma.
That's right. I heard somebody say that one time.
Yeah.
I heard him say too, kindness is magic. Daniel, have you ever heard that? And I heard somebody also say, remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Do that. Be kind to shop at Shop Cocobella's, you know?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. You know, yeah. So Dennis, where are you going today?
I have meetings in preparation for a tough duty tomorrow
Yeah.
in, I believe, it's Hanover.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a lot of meetings to prepare for the work that we're going to be
And let me
doing
salute the police commissioner too. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Dr.
Dr.
Where I like
Kevin
to
Blake.
salute
Yeah?
the commissioner. Dr. Blake, good morning
Dr.
to you,
Blake
sir.
and
you
the
know
High
what I'm saying?
Command. Good
High
morning.
Command. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to you.
Yeah.
You say it go like this.
So-
That? Tell me that.